All right. Oh man, what's up? Got my boy
Much.
Antonio here doing a quick recap of the entire season of WandaVision, man. We've been talking since the first two episodes dropped, and like, yo, we gotta do something. So
Yeah,
this is it today. Doing this via Zoom, no sponsor. Just that's why it looked like this.
yeah, yeah.
And I couldn't get the stream to work, man. I was pissed, man. My dad, I need a computer, but that's another story, another day. But yeah, so we just me and Des just finished reviewing episode 9, right? And
Okay.
it was so much stuff that happened, like I just forgot because I didn't watch it twice. I had to go get a cut, and then I was like, man, that's ran out of time. So
Yeah.
let's talk about episode
So
9
I
real quick. Just
so
some of
don't listen.
go ahead,
I'll
man.
just say this. I'll just say this. I gotta be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I actually went into work early just so I could watch it at my desk and not be disturbed. I'd be there about 4. Usually I get in at work about 4:15, 4:10. They don't care as long as you come in. I got to work at literally 3:45, set up my desk, put on Disney Plus headphones. It was like this the whole time.
Bro,
Watching it.
I woke up to use the bathroom like 3:10. I said,
Uh-huh.
here we go.
Right.
Right in bed. Hope just trying not to wake up Keisha. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah, man. So yeah, this whole season was like really just well put together. I think the showrunner Jack Schaefer, like she did just a phenomenal job of putting this cast together
Yeah.
and seeing the vision, no pun intended, all the way through to the end. And
Yeah.
this was like a just a super this was so self-contained, Tony. Like it was crazy. I was
Yeah.
like, yo, like they not nah, yo. There's everybody in a little ham-fisted trying to put Mephisto in everything and
Yeah.
really trying nah. And it was like, nah, this is our story and we gonna stick to it.
It was just like a comic book.
Yeah, it was.
It was like a limited run comic book. And it was like, this is what the story is. And this because I think the one thing everyone was trying to figure out was when it was announced this show was coming out, everyone was like, well, how are they going to do this? What exactly are we going to do here? Is it going to be a prequel? Because we all know Vision was gone.
Yeah.
Physically, Vision was gone. And was going to be a prequel. Some people tried to, maybe you noticed this. Let's go back to Endgame, Avengers Endgame, when Wanda, was went heads up with Thanos. She straight up told him, "You took everything from me," and
Yeah, that's
from
such a
that,
raw moment.
right, and from that, I thought, "Oh snap, maybe this is something that happened before." You know what I'm saying? Before
Yeah.
the, you know what I'm saying? Before Endgame happened, before Infinity Stone, which made her feel like, say that line, but it wasn't. It's just that she was dead. She was in love with this synthoid. It really loved the man, robot, whatever you want to call him, and literally, he took everything from her because after Pietro died, she didn't have anything else except for Vision, and she it was like she was a part of the Avengers, but it was like I think at times she didn't feel like she was fully accepted as an Avenger.
True. I mean, especially after during Civil War when
Right,
Tony grounded her, you know what I'm saying?
right,
Put her in her room.
right.
And then she just straight crushed Vision through like 80 floors.
Right. Like she sent them to the center of the earth, basically.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Take that nigga to hell. He took him to
right. That's where Mephisto came from, right there when she
yeah,
dropped it
yeah,
down
yeah,
there.
yeah. I was like, man, how far is he gonna go?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like you said, the show was just so well done, and going back to the beginning, with the first 2 episodes, I just love, and see, that's what you call good show writing. They
Yes.
gave you no explanation, nothing of why this is what it is. You just come out into it's like a black and white Dick Van Dyke, I Love Lucy style show. And I was just, at first I was like, okay. so where are we going with this? I
Yeah,
was
me
just trying to
too.
see where we were going with this. And the first episode was, based off of like Dick Van Dyke, I Love Lucy, had that whole thing. Then the second episode came along and it had the Bewitched, because you had a little
Yeah,
Bewitched cartoon version of it. And then at the end of that episode, that's when you saw what later on we found out to be Darcy as Shield watching the show and the video. And I just find funny and that you had people that were like, "Oh, this show is horrible." Like people, it's a story. It's not going to give you everything you want. And I think that's the one thing that Marvel has kind of done to spoil your casual fans of giving you such action packed,
yeah,
saying
yeah.
stuff, and to have an actual story build, it kind of threw people off. But I was here for it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I was definitely here for it because especially because like the first two episodes when I saw they was doing the whole, late 50s, early 60s tropes. Like I personally, I hate them shows. Like I hate them. I never liked them when I was a kid, and like Nick and I would come on at 8 o'clock after the last, what would come on last? Like Danger Mouse would
Cos-
come on
yeah,
last.
danger about
You know
yeah,
what I'm
danger
saying?
mouse
Like
and stuff.
I like
Yeah,
nah, I ain't about to watch this crap. Like I hate, like I never liked them, but like I was still looking for the story in it. And the story, and I was like, okay, like Wanda's in here running everything basically, and
right.
just the small subtle hints of things like, okay, I see what we doing. I'm definitely gonna stick because it's
Mm-hmm.
Marvel. Like, why would I not
Right,
stick around? So
right. Come on, man.
those people are like, yo, like y'all be watching. Go continue watching the movies, bro. Let's go.
Right. Those.
And another thing too, because just because of, because of COVID, this was supposed to be the third series. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Supposed to have
Yeah.
been Falcon and Soldier first, then
Mm-hmm.
Loki, then
Mm-hmm.
this. So timeline wise, they would have even went back further.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, closer to 2023 than the other film, and then the other series would have. So that's like the crazy part to me. Like y'all, like that was like, nah, the original plan was to have a build up. We're gonna give them, some running and gunning with Falcon.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
And Bucky. Then we're gonna give them some like
Time heist humor
Rick and
type stuff.
Morty type stuff. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
with
saying?
Loki.
For
Yeah.
Loki, and then we're gonna like throw like hesitation
Right.
and see if they can keep up with WandaVision. But I appreciate just even meta how they started on TV with TV
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
it was real cool to me. And then after that, it
Right.
just
Right.
was
Yeah.
picking up, man.
It just picked up, and it was, like I said, it was just a show where everything like gradually each week fell into place. Each week, everything
Yeah,
fell into
yeah,
place.
it did.
And
It did.
I would like to say, and I told somebody when episode 8 happened, and somebody was like, "Oh, I haven't seen it yet. What can you say?" I said, "Best thing I say about episode 8 was episode 8 explains everything." And I mean, when I say explains everything, it explains it back to the beginning of Wanda and Pietro and everything herself, and it explains it all, because the one thing about that's always been confusing, even in the comics itself, was Wanda's power. It was
Yeah.
like it was like, is it telepathy? Is it magic, chaos magic? It never reality warping. It has never really fully been explained, and the reality warping has always been kind of like, yeah, okay, that's what it's kind of been like for the last couple of years, 10 years or so, is she has reality warping power, but along, and they basically called it chaos magic. So
Yeah.
hearing those terms come up in this just kind of gave me a warm fuzzy feeling, like, oh, they are really, what I'm saying, going deep into this, and even at the end and everything. But it was just a well put together, like I said, it's just a well put together show with Wanda building this world to cope with losing the love of her life.
Yeah, it's definitely like I was especially after episode, I think 7 or 8. I was like,
Mhm.
this has just been a series about how we handle grief. Just
Yeah,
basically that's thematically like that's been the overarching theme. Like, so how do people handle grief? Like,
yeah,
do we try to hide? Do we try to make up our own little world? I mean, it's really that's what it is. And the fact that even the last episode 9, the series finale,
hmm,
she got to have like closure,
yeah,
and really be able to say goodbye. Like that was like such a it was a real touching moment because it's a sense of catharsis that a lot of people don't get to have.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
people be dealing with grief, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like my grandparents died when I was like 9 and 10, and I
Yeah.
still miss them to this day. So,
Yeah.
there's a sense of you have to still maintain and move forward and go on with life, but still knowing that those memories are there. Hence, her having the memories of Vision, be able to, reimagine him or reanimate him within
Mhm.
herself. So there's a lot of things that I appreciate just on a very storytelling level.
Yeah. Like, and I'm gonna tell you the one thing in the episode, this last episode, the finale, that kind of got me like, oh, was when near the end, when she decided to tear everything down, and she was accepting of what it was, and they took the kids away,
Oh, yeah,
and she turned around and said, "Thank you for choosing
bruh.
me to be your mom." I said, "Well, I don't have any kids," but I was just like,
I was like,
"Oh
man,
God!"
like
I was
that,
like,
yeah, that hurt. And then like Vision, like Visions was dropping jewels the entire time, yo.
"Yeah, yeah,
Like so Vision, this episode was like, man, I just want to see you. I was like, oh God,
yeah."
I
I
was
hear it's
like,
bad luck. I hear it's bad luck to have the light off. I was like, "Oh my God!" He's like, "I just want to see you for who you are," and I was just like, "God, man!" Like I said, Marvel is really, really tugging at the heartstrings here.
like yo, like fan, like yo, like they was writing they behinds off, yo. This was like if you were like screenwrite, do screenplays, this was a writer's workshop.
Yeah,
I mean, they was really in their bag, like saying, like, yo, we gonna make these bastards cry.
yeah,
And,
right.
like,
Yeah.
nah, they thought,
Somebody gonna shed
yeah,
at least a tear.
yeah, they thought they was coming here for some fun. Nah, we gonna
Yeah,
talk about
no,
grief,
yeah,
loss. I'm like, oh man,
yeah,
this is so weighty topics. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's just like this could have had a potentiality to go so wrong, and it could have been it could have been
yes,
cheesy and cheap, but
yeah,
everything felt so earned. That's the part that I love the most. Like everything was really earned. Like we had to
hmm
work for it. We had to
hmm
stay there throughout the entire time. And then when we got the reveals, when we episode 8 came and we understood, and like and
uh-huh.
nothing. Oh yeah, real quick, if I let you get people piss me off, y'all. Like the thing like Age of Ultron. Like people be hating on Age of Ultron because there's a lot of
Yeah,
stuff going on. Bro, like Age of Ultron is one of my favorites because
yeah,
it's just so fun. And
yeah,
then there's some very poignant character moments in Age of Ultron that aren't in any of the other movies. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Of course, Joss Whedon is a jerk in real life, but what he did with the first Avengers and the second Avengers, he made sure to place those humanistic points and elements in the movie so we can see them as people. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And that's what WandaVision did for
yeah.
me.
You know what? Even in Age of Ultron, he did it. He did it for the character of Ultron. Put the humanistic character. You think about it, because Ultron, his what was the thing that set him off? Whenever there was like, oh, that's that Tony Stark's coming out, say like the program, and that can kind of can come off as like a kid trying to get out of their parents, their father, their mother's shadow, and
Yeah.
somebody say, "Oh, I see that," say, "Oh, you just like your." Don't say that, just I want to be my own person type or my own thing. So, yeah, yeah, man. I mean, it like you said, it just touched, Age of Ultron. It just touched on it to you on a human level. What I'm saying,
Yeah.
on a human
So
human
good.
level, and honestly, how it ended, I think about it now, and I was like, if they would have made some reveal be of Mephisto,
It
I
would
think
have
it would
been
have
some
messed it. It would have messed
trash. It
it
would have
up.
been
It would have messed it
trash.
up. I think it would have messed it up if it would have been some, because it based, like you said, it stayed in their little hexagon of what the show is and what it was. So if they would have brought Mephisto in, it probably would
Nah,
have been
I would
okay.
have like
Not saying
nah.
it would. I like it'd have been cool to see Mephisto, but I think it
Nah.
would have just messed up the story that was
Because
being told.
and then on top of that, I mean, let's be real when it comes to like the times we're living in. Like it would really suck Agatha to have Agatha be such a full-fledged villain and then
Yeah,
have Wanda to be such a full-fledged kind of like anti-hero in this,
yeah,
and then to have some man
greater
like
being. Yeah,
character because it's going to be in the form of a man. Like character to come in and be the person that's been pulling the strings all along. That'd been very, and then basically that's like you're saying, like they don't have any agency over themselves or over their actions. That would have been real cheap.
One thing I do appreciate too, you brought it up. It was a female-driven show.
It was,
because you think about it, Wanda, Agatha, Monica.
Me ain't talking about Monica yet.
Monica, right? You talk about Darcy. Said Darcy, and then even like, what was it when Monica kept saying, "Oh, I got an engineer," and it was one of her friends that was one of the female captains in the army, and then at the end, when you had the female Skrull who came, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Even Hayward's right hand was a female. It was a black female.
Right? Yeah. It was very, very, very female driven and oriented. So I think that was another plus on it, instead of letting Agatha be the actual big bad of the show, and and not have it be some other guy. Now I'm pretty sure somewhere along the lines, Mephisto will probably pop up, and they may bring it on to say that he was kind of like a driving force behind the scenes later on, because the way it ended, she's like, I know where you are if I need you.
That was I was like, yes, give me more character in Han, like like I've seen her and stuff before, but like when I mean, man, give her that TV Emmy,
because she killed that role.
She deserved that best supporting actress. She deserved that.
She killed that role. She killed that role for each era of that nosy neighbor that you have, and then when Wanda was like, I'm going to give you what you've been the whole time, the nosy neighbor.
I'm going to give your role. I was like, oh,
your role. And then when she gave her the hex magic, and she was like, all righty there, Abby. She went right into cheesy.
Okie dokie artichoke.
Okie dokie artichoke. She went right into cheesy, nosy neighbor from a sitcom show, and I loved it. So yeah,
it was great, man. It was great. All right, yo. So Monica, Tiana Paris. Shout out Tiana Paris, man. Like,
Tiana Paris. Listen, been a fan of her ever since. God, what was the first thing I ever saw her in was Dear White People.
Oh yeah,
the first thing I ever saw her in. So I've been a fan of her ever since. Man, the Monica Rambeau is that woman, yo. It was first of all, let's go to how we was introduced. Let's talk about how we was introduced to her, as far as seeing what happened. We saw in Spider-Man,
the unsnapping. Oh my
god,
the
unsnapping or the unblipping or whatever they called it.
Forget that.
But unsnapping. But to see how she came back to pieces, and like you see the panic of people like, where's my mother? Folk running into each other and stuff not going on. Man, that was like amazing. That's something that I've always wanted to get touched more on.
That was a
in
dope
the Marvel
scene,
movie. Like I said. Yeah, it was so.
And even the just the visual effects on that scene.
Yeah,
it's like
the reverse dusting.
Bro, like it looked better than the dusting did.
Yeah,
because there was color.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of, if you've ever read the House of M comic, which some of this is part of. It looked like the cover of it a little bit on the cover where Wanda.
There's a lot of visual ties to that comic.
Yeah.
So it was great, man. That whole scene was great. The way she just like, we should have known she was strong for the time she knocked that dude down in the daggone in front of the nurse's desk.
Right.
It's like boom. She's like, oh, I'm sorry.
So let's talk about a few things with Monica. So these are a few things that I noticed, and I don't have nothing written down, but just off the top of the dome that I can just remember from her. Number one, she was not surprised after they did the X-ray of her when she got spit out.
Nope.
The Nexus, and it was like, oh, it's X-rays. She was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Don't worry about that, fam.
Don't worry about that. So she wasn't surprised about that. Number two, there seems to be some type of beef with her and Captain. There's some type of beef because
something went down, yo.
Something went down because when Wu and Darcy said something, brought up something about Carol Danvers, she was like, we don't need to talk about that, right? Like right now, I was like, oh, okay.
Yo,
You
it's
know, I
crazy.
picked
I know that somebody said somewhere that that beef may go back to like Spider-Man Homecoming. Because remember Talos was playing Nick Fury, and then at the beginning, but
that's
he was
true.
like naming Avengers. He was like Captain Marvel, and what did he say? Don't speak of that name.
Yeah, right,
So they
exactly.
were dropping
So
that joint. They
something
dropped that name early. I was like, oh
early, yeah.
yeah.
So
So
something
Captain
went
Marvel did
down,
something.
right, and
It's
then
something.
Haywood even mentioned it. He was like, "Yeah, we know about your relationship with Carol Danvers." You know, he brought it up, and you saw the look on her face with that. So that's some stuff right there. Also, too, talking about Monica when her people bought that supposed to be that specialized space tank that could
Yeah.
break through the mind. If you go back and watch it, when she escaped that tank,
She broke the
she
joint.
tore the daggone off. It won't like she unscrewed it and
Nah.
popped it out and it flipped down.
Nope.
No, she tore that jank off the hinges.
I saw it, yo. I
Yeah,
saw it.
okay, all
Yeah.
right, cool.
Yeah.
She tore that jank off the hinges. That let me know that she got something going on. And even when Darcy told her, "Hey, something's going on with your, what I'm saying, with your genetic makeup, and I don't think it's a good idea if you go back," and she was like, "I'm fine." So, when we find out probably in Captain Marvel 2 what went down between her and Carol and how she got these powers, because it seems like she got these powers somehow,
Yeah,
whether
she been to
they
have.
were
She been to
she
have.
had them, maybe she been here, maybe they got transferred a little bit to her from Carol or something,
I don't know. I
and
can't.
and and, and
No,
they
I
got
can't
amplified.
wait for
Right,
that.
right, because they got amplified when she went back through what I'm saying, through the hex or whatnot. And you think about it, that's what the Mind Stone did. The Mind Stone amplified people's powers, and that's what amplified Wanda and Pietro's, what I'm saying, powers of what they have or whatnot. So yeah, Monica's a problem, man. And the thing is, it's like Wanda knew that Monica was on her side. He, because she didn't do anything drastic, or except for the one at the end, near the end, like what, that's episode 7, when she act like she wanted to fight her, but she saw how Wanda kind of backed off, like, oh snap, like she something going
Hmm.
on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Something's going
Yeah.
on with
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Definitely.
yeah, Monica's great. Monica's a great character.
Yeah. Even how her superhero origin was just so different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And when she went to the Hex the third time, how her body just split up, and she heard all them instances from like Carol and
yeah.
from Nick, her mom. Like it was really good, man. Like it's just so many. They have so many good choices that they made throughout this. Like I don't have a whole lot of negative to say, and if you do, then you just like super nitpicky, and you don't deserve,
Yeah.
and you don't deserve you don't deserve things.
To
You know what I'm
witness this, you don't deserve this
Nah,
awesomeness.
man,
So
just go somewhere and be
yeah,
mad, and like,
yeah.
because I know I like yo, I don't be having a whole lot of expectations for stuff, so I try to come in with a real open mind and
Mm-hmm.
really just like I hope it's really good, and like this has just been it's been really good, man. It has, I can't even lie, it's been good because
Yeah,
it's even hold on it's even made me go back to want to watch Doctor Strange, and I
yeah.
absolutely hate Doctor Strange. Like I hate that
You
movie.
do.
It's
You
trash.
you
It's
don't. Oh
nah,
wow.
like I love the visual effects and all that stuff,
Okay.
even like some of the scenes, but like as an origin movie, nah, it's just like he was just Tony Stark with magic, and I hated it.
Do
Even
you
in,
think maybe you don't like it because it went by? It progressed too fast.
I didn't like it because it felt like a Phase 1 movie, and it was Phase
Okay.
3.
Okay. I got you. I got you. I got you.
I really thought that they were gonna kind of like
Yeah.
at least flip the origin on his head, do something
Okay.
different. You know what I'm saying? Like even like Captain Marvel, like that's one of the weaker movies too.
Yeah.
And it's cool. There's some cool scenes, but they wasn't in their bag for them two movies.
Yeah. Yeah. And I ain't gonna lie. I was a little. I like Doctor Strange, but I was still a little disappointed because Doctor Strange is like one of my favorite secondary,
Yeah,
Marvel, because in the comics he's such a weirdo. and that whole world, that cosmic, like he's a weirdo, and that cosmic magical Marvel world is a trip that it's weird, man. It's really weird, and like I really hope, and then hopefully in Multiverse of Madness they touch on it, but it was some problems with doing that because Multiverse of Madness, the original director, I forget his name right now.
Yeah, Scott
He
Erickson.
wanted it to be kind of like a horror.
Yeah, and
Like
Feige was like, hold on, fam, cool out.
Feige was like, no, we're Disney. We don't do that. So
not even that, but
I
like, yo,
wonder.
we gotta sell this in China, fam. Like you forgot
Right.
where the
Yeah,
money
right.
Did you forget where the money resides? Oh, come on.
Yeah, where the money resides. So shut up. So yeah, so but I get what you mean with that, but with the even Doctor Strange references in it, like when Agatha says, "Yo, you're the Scarlet Witch. You're more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme." I said, "What?" I said, "Excuse." She said, "You don't even know it. That you are more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme." I was like, "Oh
yo,
wow."
they really set in the Doctor Strange 2 to be like, and it's coming out in like next year, next March.
And I think
it's gonna be a March movie.
And from what I understand, Wanda is supposed to be the villain.
I mean, I feel like because you already know it's gonna be her in there.
Yeah,
it might it's the bigger bad is the real question, but you also know Baron Mordo's gonna be back too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait to see Baron Mordo be like pissy bad black dude trying to take everybody's power away.
But the thing is, you saw all of the on this last episode basically set up everything for that Doctor Strange, because even the second and the second in credit where basically you like,
she got the dark hole. She got the dark hole.
It's funny because it set you up like, oh, Wanda is, she found her little piece of heaven. She's having, and the next thing you go in the car and she's in the spirit realm reading the daggone dark hole and just sitting there doing incantations. And I said, oh, that is just like how Strange did that in Doctor Strange movie.
I said the same thing too.
I was like, oh, I said, oh, they are setting this up. So
and
man,
and even like a real low key callback. That's kind of how the same way it looks, trying to find a chill place after a big thing happened, was freaking Thanos. After Thanos snaps away, what's the line, Tony? I just want to what did he say? I want to rest on a grateful universe. What he says like that?
Rest on a grateful. and what Banner say? So Thanos has a retirement home planet that he just wants to, he wants to go to a retirement home planet. So man. I mean it was just great. Now I want to talk to you about this. There are a few questions I still have.
Yeah, definitely.
That I don't think were answered.
They weren't.
So here's one question. Wu was like, hey, it's a missing person report. Who's the missing person? I'm starting to think it probably was Wanda, but I want to know who that missing person was.
They didn't answer that.
Right, they never answered that. My next question. What is Hayward's beef with superpowered humans? Like, he has a serious beef with super. Are you superpowered? And like he has a serious. It's like you got a beef with somebody. It's like if you got a beef with somebody, it's a reason why you have a beef with somebody. It's just not this is my beef. Like he was hell bent on trying to kill Wanda.
He emptied the clip on the kids.
Right, on the kids, he emptied the clip and then looked at the gun like, oh dang, like
I gotta get out of here.
Gotta get out of here. Like I want to know what is his beef. Like, and the fact too that he sat there, played a video for Monica and lied about the video about, oh yeah, she took Vision's body and reanimated him. No, she created that Vision from from her powers and everything. Like
that whole reveal was like, yo.
Yeah.
That's crazy, yo. Dude just
Yeah,
been lying hard the whole time, yo.
right. I guess another thing too is I think I got a questions about too is we saw a Vision Bowl, and we saw Wanda's vision of Vision basically, hit him with a question, was like, your objective is to destroy Vision, but your vision,
Yeah, you Vision fan.
your vision, and like, and that's and that was so smart because that vision was basically a shell of itself. It was just a robot. I am programmed to do this.
Said
Okay, well, your
my
programming,
directive is to kill you.
my directive is to kill the vision. Well, you're the real vision. And he said the same. And that's where they stopped in the middle of it and was just like, I forgot what he said, but basically was like, give me a second to compute this. And they were just having a stare. And they basically was computing like, oh man, I am the real vision type thing. And so he told her,
So
and
he
that's
told
when the
fan to
vision said,
elaborate. He said, please elaborate on that.
elaborate. And he basically told them like, hey, you're the real vision. Your memories, what I'm saying, they blocked. He was like, I don't have any memories. He said, no, they blocked you off of your memories. And that right there, I think, is going to show how Vision is going to come back in the MCU, because
Yeah.
unlocked he basically unlocked the block parts of his mind, and then you see him just fly away. And I was like,
And that was
okay,
the end of
cool.
that.
And I was into that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what?
Yeah, he can show, and that's cool too, because like Vision can show up anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, Vision can show up anywhere. So that's just what it is, and those are kind of like the real main. I also, another questions I want to know is, I know that the townspeople were like, oh, whenever Wanda slept, we had her
And her
nightmares and
nightmares.
stuff. But I really still want to know like what they were going, saying, you knew kind of what they was going through, but it's like,
Yeah.
I want to see kind of like a visual representation of what they were going through. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that'd have been too much, yo. Like
Yeah, probably so. Yeah,
it was already
it,
sad enough.
it was
Like,
like, let's just turn this back just a little bit, sir. But yeah, those are kind of like the real, what I'm saying, questions besides the obvious of, hey, where did Monica Powers come from? Wes Haywood's beef with, superhumans or superpowered people,
yeah.
and also to what, I'm saying, who was the missing person? Is it actually Wanda? Was it maybe somebody from the town?
Like
Or
that's I like it's crazy. I got so caught up in the actual show that I low-key forgot about there was a missing. That's why Wu was there in the first place.
yeah, this is a missing person report.
Or like was it a really missing person?
That's a good point too.
You know what I'm
Could have
saying?
been they
Because if it
could have been
could
that
have
Sword
been,
needed a patsy.
or it could have been like the FBI just like I don't know. It's just really odd like that was an answer.
Yeah,
I feel like that I mean shit, it should come back up sometime. I mean, like, come on, man. Like I
yeah,
don't know. That's no, I'm mad about that. It should answer that. Yeah, yo. Who was the person?
yeah, yeah. So
Because every no.
right. That's just things that make you, to make you think, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I get
But
back.
also too, let's shout out something too. I also, at first I was kind of sad that, oh, they're not. This is not how it's going to happen. But I'm also kind of glad that it wasn't introduced this way.
Yes, more
The X-Men
Quicksilver.
into the
Yeah,
MCU.
I am too. Like, because like people was getting like super speculative around episode 5 and 6. I'm like, fam, like y'all
Yeah,
got like it's. I like a good prediction, but the way that
yeah,
like, and like, yo, shout out to Kevin Feige and the Click, because they knew when they did that, when they stunt casted like that, how the
mhm,
internet was gonna react.
yeah,
They knew it, and majority of us fell for it. And the way they finessed that, and fam was Ralph the whole time, was like
yeah, yeah,
Ralph Boner. That's so funny.
yeah.
Even he laughed at his name.
Yeah, and the fact that it actually was like the guy, that was playing, what I'm saying, that's just like that was named Ralph Boner. Um, We got one more question I need answered too, and it didn't get answered.
What's that?
And you might have forgot about this too. What the hell is up with Senor Scratchy? Remember, she turned that little cockroach, that moth, into a bird.
Yeah, turn that cicada to a bird, turn that bird back to cicada, and he ate it.
Right.
That bunny is still in
Bunny.
town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one theory is that they might say, there were two theories I heard. They thought that that was going to be Agatha's son that's in the comics or whatnot. I was like, eh. Another theory they thought it could have been that Bunny could have been Mephisto, because Senor Scratchy, back in the day,
yeah.
Old
Nah,
Man
yeah,
Scratch was the
nah,
name for it.
nah.
Yeah.
I wasn't that. I feel like
That was
that
a
was
reach.
that was a yeah super stretch. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But I don't. That's those two things right there. The missing
Uh-huh.
person and
Uh,
freaking stupid rabbit. Like
yeah.
that's like yo. Like yeah. I
Yeah.
forgot. Where is this magical rabbit at, yo? Like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
hopping around town.
Yeah.
Never to die. And people
Never
trying to
to
figure
die.
out why
Just
this rabbit ain't died after like 20 years.
right. like in a green mile. Oh, this mouse been alive for 80 some young
Oh
years.
my god, yo. Not the Green Mile.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's yeah, man. The show was, like I said, the show was fantastic. Great setup, and even though I still have some questions, I feel there was some type of closure to it as well.
Oh yeah, like they did a really good job. If this was like how old school TV used to be, and
Mm-hmm.
this is how stuff wraps up, and then there's nothing else because it is the series finale.
Mm-hmm.
That's how TV
Yeah.
used to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yo, you ain't nothing else happening after this. There's no serialized television. It's just
Right.
it's it. Last episode.
Yeah.
And that you get to speculate and have your own little, head canon in regards to
Mm-hmm.
what happened after the fact. And I think that was the part that was really, really good because even the last episode stayed true to a series finale structure wise. Like
Mm-hmm.
the big battle happened. We see what
Mm-hmm.
happens to almost everybody. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, there's always some lingering thread that doesn't get answered in the show that pisses everybody
Yeah.
off. So, like,
Yeah.
even if they did it by mistake on a very meta level, this is very much a serious finale. And like,
Yeah.
I just man, like, they was writing, yo. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
was
They
writing.
they win their
They
bag for
was
this one.
writing, man, and they
Yeah.
was really and like Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen, they was acting, man. Like they really made us believe that a robot and a person was in love, and I can't even explain
Yeah.
how whack I feel that I was up here falling for it too. Like it's but that's what good writing and good acting does. So
Yeah. Right. When this is what I equate good acting to. I equate good and great acting to when an actor is playing a role, but it gets to a point where you don't even look at that person. You don't even look at the actor, and you look at that role as that actor. You see what I mean?
yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
like
yeah. That's
kind
why
of
we hate
like
Hayward.
yeah, right. Kind of best way I can put it is different universe, but Heath Ledger as the Joker for Dark Knight. You
Yes,
know, you
yeah.
yeah, it's iconic. It's like it was no longer, oh, that's Heath Ledger playing the Joker. You was like,
No, that's the
that's the joke,
Joker.
just the Joker right there. So and I kind of was getting this from, especially with Paul Bettany as Vision. It was no longer, oh, for me, it was no longer, oh, that's Paul Bettany playing Vision. No, he's Vision.
Yeah, he was
Because
killing it too.
he was Vision. I mean, because and then too, like especially in episode 8, when you see when they kind of first start to have feelings for each other, how they was at Avengers when they hit a flashback when they was at Avengers headquarters,
Yeah,
and he was just kind of like spying but not really on her, and she was like, Vision, come on out or whatever, and he came out and she was like what do you want type thing, and he was just he was basically a synthezoid robot. He was like, I'm brand new to this, you know, I'm trying to understand why, you know what I'm saying, why you cry. Why is this funny? You know what I'm saying? Why is this? And then when he hit, you know, he hit her with the line, oh God, of what
What is grief but not
what is
love
grief?
persevering?
Yes. I said, what I said that is something that can really be used to help people.
At like 3:40 in the morning, I was like, yo, that is the truth.
Yeah.
I've never heard it put this way before. And I was
Yeah.
like, nah, I'm not about to sit and cry in my bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. I ain't doing that. I gotta go back to sleep. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
man.
like that was straight. And even that whole same episode was the through line that you talked about earlier when she tried to put Vision back online when she did go to Swords
Sword.
base.
Uh-huh.
The fact that she couldn't feel him, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And then even the fact that she could feel his presence, even though she didn't see him, she knew he was right there. That's why she called him,
Mm-hmm.
because she felt him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then for
Yeah.
that, because remember, they even the whole time, even like the flashback when not even the flashback, but in Civil War when he was phasing through walls, and he was like, Viz, like, can you stop doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
like that whole interaction is that obviously happens after the fact.
I didn't even think
You know what I'm
about
saying? So
that.
that
That brings
yeah, so
things
so
full circle.
talking to him, talking to her and Cap, her and Cap was talking. He did that. Then that has to happen after. You know what I'm saying? Because
Uh-huh.
her guard is down. She felt
Yeah.
him in the wall, and then she invited him in, even though like, fam, he's a door. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that whole through line of like, yo, not it's like, yo, even back in, so that between that scene, the scene in Infinity War when they was in Scotland Yard, and she was like,
Yeah.
he's like, what does it feel like? He said, and what did she say? All I feel is you. At the end
Mm-hmm.
of Infinity War, I don't, and he says what? I don't feel, all I feel is you. And she crushed the
Mm-hmm.
Mind Stone. And then back to this, that scene, then going to the daggone, what you call it, when Chief tries to bring him back on, I don't feel him.
Yeah. I
Then
don't feel them.
then that leaves her and her little Buick, you know what I'm saying? So, her and that red Buick, you know what I'm saying, to Westview to do what? Create him again out of
Mm-hmm.
her grief and her emotions, and based solely off of her memory of him.
Yeah.
So that through line for me was like, oh my God, yo.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, this is such a good exercise about grief, love, and loss.
Yeah.
Because even though it's fictionalized and it's not real, the fact that she was able, like I said before, able to have this catharsis in this way is, it was great, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to go to therapy in real life, people. Okay.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's real. It's real out here in these streets, man.
Yeah,
Grief is,
you can talk.
grief is real, and you know,
Got to talk to
you
somebody, man. If you
you
need
got
help.
to talk to somebody, or else you might you can have a breakdown, psychotic breakdown, mental breakdown, and everything. You know, saying everything in between. But you know, grief is real, and this show basically put a nice little bow on, you know, the bad side of what you could do with grief, and
Mm-hmm.
also the good side of it, as in, hey, it happened, but you'll always have those memories with that person. You know what I'm saying? The you know what I'm saying, the body isn't here, but the spirit, you can still feel, you know what I'm saying? You can still feel the spirit and have the memories of the good times and great times you've had with someone. So yeah, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, you like I
It's
whew,
so good, man. So
yeah,
good.
like I said, kudos to Disney, Marvel, MCU. You guys knocked it out of the park with this. Like you said, if anyone doesn't like didn't like this one shot series, you suck as a person, yo. I'm just sorry, you suck, because this was fantastic. And the only thing that I have about that now is this puts so much more pressure on the other shows that's coming out.
And
And
it does, because we live in such a binary world. But for me, I'm
Right.
taking the rest of these as they are. I know for the next
Yeah.
after next week comes, I'm gonna have 6 weeks of two idiots going back and forth, fighting, shooting, blowing up the world. Like I'm gonna have fun with that. And then in
This is gonna
May,
be
this is gonna be
this
my
is gonna be
run.
a buddy cop.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna just be Murtaughs and Tugs. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah, my first time.
I'm gonna have fun with, and that's how I approach
Uh-huh.
life now. Like, yo, if this is what it is,
Yeah.
why I'm gonna sit here
Yeah.
because it's not how I wanted it, man. Fam, I ain't writing this. I ain't got no money to bankroll
Yeah.
this operation. We here making content
Yeah.
of what they what they give out. So
Yeah.
can't have this thing backwards. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be hyped for that. I'm gonna be hyped for Loki when it
I
comes
am.
out too.
I
And I'm just gonna say and
Okay, so let me ask you this. So
go ahead.
with the content that Marvel has coming out, what are the shows, movies, or whatever that just have you salivating like,
I'm
oh,
I'm I'm
I
low
could
I'm low key kind of hyped to see Shang-Chi.
interesting. Yeah.
I mean
Yeah.
like cuz like I'm gonna see the Eternals. I kind of I mean it's still to me I'm leery because it's gonna be the definitive origin story of the MCU. So I hope that they
Mm-hmm.
do it well. But Shang-Chi
And you suppose and you
is
might see it, and apparently you're gonna see a young Thanos too
yeah, that's what I'm
in the
saying. So,
Eternals.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm really, I have hopes for that. But Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings just looks so amazing as a concept to me. I
Man,
can't wait to
the
see
man,
that.
we're gonna finally get the Mandarin, man.
Yeah, yo.
We're
Like
gonna finally get
I don't even hate Iron Man 3. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm really
yeah.
excited to see Trevor Slattery. I'm real excited to see Shang-Chi, yo. Like I just feel like that's
I
gonna
ain't gonna lie, I am too, and I'm gonna tell you my one thing is this: the 10 rings have been built up since Iron Man 1.
it's been in the background the whole time, yo. Like
The 10 rings have been in the background the entire time since Iron Man 1. And
I'm
I feel
saying that.
like we're gonna finally get the 10 rings that we deserve, explanation about them. We're gonna finally get the Mandarin that we deserve. And and believe it or not, my personal opinion, I think that movie is going to be the movie that kind of shows us, or maybe semi introduces the big bad of this phase of the Marvel MCU, the new Thanos, as to say, you know what I mean? Because I think the 10 rings is going to have something necessarily to do with that, man. What I'm very interested in seeing, Black Widow. The reason I say that is because I just want to know exactly how are they going to do this, because I know it's supposed to take place during two different eras. It's
Yeah.
supposed to take place at one point in the 90s, and then another point kind of like, I think, right before Infinity War,
Yeah, between
right,
Civil War and
Civil War
Infinity
and
War.
Infinity
Yeah.
War. So some stuff supposed to go down. I think we're gonna finally find out what the hell happened at Budapest. That's always
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
always been the thing. Budapest. I think we're gonna finally, but I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with, you know, exactly with that, along with Black Widow, along with Shang-Chi. As far as a show I'm interested in, this takes me back to my childhood with Marvel, the What If series that's supposed to come out in like a year
It's
or
gonna be
two.
super dope, yo. With
And the
that, with
reason
Jeffrey
why
Wright
I
being about to the
remember
Watcher, that's gonna be
I remember those comics as a kid. First of all, I want to give a shout out to my uncle Butch, man. He rest in peace. God bless him. He passed away when I was like 11 years old. My uncle Butch, man, was like, he's the one that got me into to comics.
a word.
Comics and people. This man had like number one issues of some Fantastic Four, number one Wolverine. He had like boxes of stuff as far as comics go, man. And he's the one that got me into comics, and he's the one that got me into wrestling.
I got a 2 for 1.
Yeah, he got like he took me and his sons to the first wrestling match at the Norfolk Scope
The scope.
Headline: Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Ric Flair for the world title. That was the headline. The first time I saw Ric Flair was like, that dude is sweet, back in 1989. But yeah, but like, God bless my Uncle Butch. He's the one that put me on the comic book path. And then also shout out to my Uncle Rod, because he kind of collected comic books too. And he would, sometimes get comics and then be done with them and just be like, here you go. And just give them to me. So I still got some of those comics back home in P-Town and everything like that. So I want to shout out to them, man. But shout out, especially shout out Uncle Butch and my Uncle Rod for getting me into comics and into me in this world. But the What If series, I just remember so much because it was always like, what if the X-Men were evil? What if Magneto created the X-Men? What I'm saying? All that stuff. So the series that they're going to have with it, and rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, they're going to have like a what if with the Black Panther and
Star-Lord, yo.
Yeah. What if he was Star-Lord? Can't wait. So those are stuff that's really got excited. Thank God Disney Plus. Thank you for having the foresight to create this stuff. Thank you, Marvel. I'm excited. WandaVision was amazing. We had to talk about this, man, because we've had we know what our code word was. 48-hour referendum.
48 hours. Give y'all 2 days to watch this, yo. I'll see you on Sunday.
So yeah, man. And also shout out to you too, man. Getting your daughters into it, man, because I've seen a couple of the reviews you've done with your kids and stuff, man, and the fact that they're into that type of stuff along with the anime that they're, I was like,
yo, man, it's so fun. Like when the world was open, we would always go watch whatever Marvel or Star Wars that came out the Thursday before. So nice. As soon as the tickets drop, I get my tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, I got 3. We're gonna watch this. It'd be 6:30 on that Thursday evening.
Nice.
Me, like right now, I go to school the next day. It ain't enough for a little stupid kid to try to spoil it for me. Or I can't, or I go on Twitter or something and it's like just running threads of names and things. Like that's why I don't need to be on Twitter. That's why I watch it so early right now.
Yeah, man. And seriously, me working in media, working in television, I have to have Twitter up to see what's going on. That's why I literally was like, yo, screw this. Like after the Pietro, when Pietro was introduced, I went on Twitter. So I saw hashtag Pietro. I said, look, I got to start watching this.
Gotta watch,
I gotta watch it.
Early,
watch it here, saying watch it at work, when I get in. So I didn't even get into Twitter. I just started watching it from work, man. But so dope, man. And like I said, man, people that don't know, you and me, we brothers from another mother, man.
Way back,
2/5 of the crew, man.
Yeah,
yo. Of our crew, man. And like I said, I made a post the other day. I was like, yo, man, I miss all my guys, man, how we used to just hang together and stuff. And the fact that we are adults now, and we can't really hang out the way we we want to, but we still try to keep in contact as as much as possible.
Never no love lost. You know what I'm saying?
Never, people, man.
I love all y'all. All about this, but I gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go too. I'm hungry, man. So.
Yeah, another hang with the Jones, man. We can try to do this a little more often, and man. We can when something pops off, something real culture relative, just to have somebody else come through and we'll stream and talk about it, man.
Yeah, I guess you and me, we do this again for Winter Soldier. For Falcon and Winter Soldier.
If it's really popping like that, yeah, definitely. For real, yo.
Man.
Yeah, man. We can do a recap.
All right, then, man.
All right, I hit you up, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Hey, man, I appreciate you too. Love you, man.
Love you too, man.
See you.